Hey guys, what is up? It is No Help, and welcome back to another video. Today, if you guys like the video, make sure to go ahead and smash the like button. So I was actually talking to my friend the other night, and he pretty much told me that he feels as if Ironman mode is pretty much not the meta anymore, or not the game that most people are playing anymore. They're kind of moving over to main accounts, and he thinks main accounts will be the future of the game. And I can kind of see why he would think this, because, you know, all the updates like raids or things that are a collaboration with a ton of people together, you want to be able to, you know, use the full economy of the game, you know, go ahead and buy the best gear in the game and stuff like that. And nobody will have time to go ahead and get all of this type of gear on an Ironman. So I'm going to go ahead and say my top 5 reasons why I choose to personally play Ironman mode and why I think it is so much fun, and that I will be playing Ironman mode probably forever on this game, and why I find it pretty much the most enjoyable mode to play. Now, I do have a main account myself. I'm not just strictly an Ironman mode. I do like the fact that, you know, you can go ahead and buy and sell things on a main account and actually take full advantage of the economy. And the game itself is obviously a lot easier being a main account. But today I'm going to be talking about why I personally choose to play Ironman. First of all, you learn so much about this game. It's actually crazy the amount of knowledge that I've learned about this game from just playing in Ironman mode alone. Like, I've played this game a decade prior to when I started Ironman, and there's so many little things that I just didn't know. For example, like how to make certain things like pies, how to get certain items in the game, maybe for questing and stuff like that. Like red berries, I didn't know you had to pick them just over here. I didn't know how to do that before Ironman mode, you know, because you would just simply go to the Grand Exchange and buy every single thing that you needed. And honestly, having to go ahead and look up all this stuff and then you permanently kind of remember how to do it, it's kind of a crazy feeling. I feel like you actually get to see the full purpose of this game and why it was created, and you kind of get to see the purpose of everything in the game. You see why Slayer is so important, which I didn't do prior to playing Ironman. You see why questing is so important. I know questing is good on most accounts, but like even just the little quests that you wouldn't normally do, you would end up doing just because it will benefit your account so much. Even just getting that little bit of XP for herb lore or whatever it might be, or getting access to a new area is so useful for Ironman. There's so much content I didn't do prior to playing Ironman. And even just little things like fishing sharks or fishing monkfish or, you know, chopping yew trees, you wouldn't do that on a main account because you would simply just go buy the logs from the Grand Exchange, buy the, you know, the raw sharks or whatever. But on an Ironman account, you know, you can't just go buy it, so you have to do the quote unquote dead content. And other things, for example, I never played certain mini games before, like Barbarian Assault. I remember I would always just wait and get the money that I needed to go ahead and buy a Bando's chest plate, but being a lower level Ironman account, that was pretty impossible to go ahead and kill the God Wars dungeon bosses, right? So I went ahead and grinded all the way and got myself the fighter torso, and it was really cool and fun, honestly, learning the Barbarian Assault rolls. And now I've gotten level 5 in all of the Barbarian Assault rolls, and I actually genuinely enjoy the Barbarian Assault, and I think it is a lot of fun. I talked about that you know, there's so many quests and stuff like that as well that you wouldn't have done as an Ironman account, but honestly, it feels so rewarding doing quests when you are an Ironman account. Just getting them all knocked out of the way, finishing the storylines, and I feel like you kind of take it more in. On a regular account, you know, you just go look up a video or turn the quest helper plugin on, just go to the Grand Exchange, buy everything you need for the quest, and boom, you have it done. But as an Ironman, you see like a huge quest list of, let me just try and think of a quest, for example, you know, like Morning's End 2 or something like that. You're going to spend probably just the same amount of time getting the items required for the quest as it takes you to do the quest. It's actually pretty crazy. Now, a lot of people would say, you know, that wouldn't be fun, but honestly, it is fun because you get to learn so much about getting these items and figuring out where they are in the game. And honestly, it just feels so rewarding to go ahead and do so. I've had multiple comments of people saying that they'd never wanted to play an Ironman until they watched one of my videos, and then they decide to go ahead and play an Ironman, and it's a game changer for them. It just feels so rewarding, and it's one of those things that you won't really understand until you give it a shot. Just being a low-level Ironman and getting something as simple as like a rune scimitar, or just getting an armor upgrade, you know, getting your mithril armor and then upgrading it to adamant, it's just the most rewarding feeling ever. Also, this will kind of force you in a way to go ahead and learn all of the bosses in the game, because certain ones will drop essential items that you will need. For example, like Zalra. Everyone wants the toxic blowpipe. It's one of the best range weapons in the entire game, and it's not like it's very expensive. It's only 2 or 3 million GP for the toxic blowpipe. And if you look up any Zalra guide, I've said this in the past, it will tell you to bring a toxic blowpipe, but as an Ironman account, you will not have a toxic blowpipe. So you have to go ahead and learn Zalra, all of the rotations of Zalra, and use something like a rune crossbow and an Iban staff in order to go ahead and get yourself that drop. And once you finally go ahead and get that drop, it is the most rewarding feeling ever. I remember when I was doing my Zalra grind, I went very dry at Zalra. I think I almost went 1000 KC without the blowpipe, so pretty frustrating. But I was so motivated to get this blowpipe that I would come home after work at like 1 in the morning, and even just to do 10 kills, and then I'd go to bed. I was that addicted to killing Zalra, and I've never felt that way playing a main account. It's just like, I'll wait till tomorrow, I'll make a couple million GP and then go buy whatever I need. I've never been so motivated to go ahead and learn and kill bosses to get those drops. I was addicted to Zalra. Another thing I really like about the Ironman game mode is the community behind it. Everyone that is an Ironman will come up to you and be like, oh, you're an Ironman too, that's awesome, and stuff like that. It's something you don't really see playing a main account, especially if you have like a really prestigious 99, like for example, like 99 prayer or something like that. The second I type anything in chat and someone sees that I'm an Ironman, they're like, nice cape. And you don't see that anymore with main accounts. Like prayer, for example, is a very easy 99 to go ahead and get, and it's super fast, one of the fastest skills in the entire game. So as a main account, it's not really something that you would be super proud of, right? I mean, it does cost a lot of money in order to go ahead and get 99, but what's money on a main account? You can just go to the Grand Exchange, right? But people all the time when I'm wearing this prayer cape will come up to me, and the second I type anything in the game, they're like, oh wow, you did that as an Ironman, how did you do that? So you kind of get to feel that prestigiousness again that you felt back in like 2009 if you ever played this game. I remember back in the day I had an untrimmed cooking cape, and people would come up to me and be like, nice cape. You just don't see that anymore, so it's pretty cool. And honestly, all the Ironman together, you can go ahead and join some Ironman clan chats and stuff like that and go ahead and do raids with them, or just even chill with them, skill with them and stuff like that. Super cool community around Ironman. And like I was talking about at the start of the video, my friend did have a point when he said like Ironman is like the meta now and it's almost being milked up. I think it's honestly just starting, to be honest. Things mean so much more as an Ironman. I'm sure you all know this. Getting your first rune scimitar like I talked about already, and then going ahead and getting your first 99 or your fire cape, for example. I remember when I got my fire cape on an Ironman, and somebody recently just commented this as well. When they get their fire cape, it's like the most crazy achievement feeling that you can go ahead and do, because you gathered all those supplies yourself. You took on all of the 63 waves by yourself and killed Jad to get the fire cape. It's a really cool feeling when you did it all by yourself. You didn't trade any players or anything like that, and you went ahead and did it all yourself. It's actually pretty crazy when you sit down and think about it. The other day I was just going through my bank and I was just like, I started on Tutorial Island and never traded a single player, and we're almost maxed. How did that happen? The challenge of the game is so much fun. Like, games are supposed to be challenging, right? If it wasn't for that, we'd all be playing private servers or wherever, where you would just have max stats already. The fun is like in the journey, not the destination, right? And I'm not saying main accounts are easy, because they're definitely not. There's a lot of challenges with RuneScape, and even some skills like agility, for example, or maybe even something like fishing or woodcutting, they don't really change much being an Ironman or a regular account, right? So the game is still hard nonetheless, but when you actually sit down and think about you've done all of this yourself without trading another player, it's actually pretty crazy, especially when you get something like the quest cape or the achievement diary cape. You really get to sink in and be like, I did this all myself. And just taking a quick look at my bank right now, it's gone down quite a bit actually, because all of the crashes from raids 3, but almost 1 billion GP has been generated without ever trading another player or going to the Grand Exchange or anything like that. It's all been from monster drops, just farming, skilling over the time, rune crafting, right? Like these 348,000 blood runes, I crafted them. Like, I didn't buy them. I definitely got some as drops, right? The 55 million GP in just cash, it's absolutely crazy. Like, all of these items I got myself, right? Like I literally fleshed 111,000 maple logs, you know, blew over 120,000 light orbs. Like it's like collected the sand myself from the desert, all these gems too, which is actually just crazy to think about. Like I got them all from monster drops, picking them up, you know, every little time a monster drops like an emerald, I go ahead and try and pick it up and stuff like that, or motherload mine, you know, they add up. It's crazy how much the things add up. And like I definitely didn't chop these magic logs, I got them from bosses, but you know, the logs, they just add up so much. I think I killed the giant mole to get all these U logs. It's pretty crazy. And then we look at even like my ores and stuff like that. It's just 57,000 coal, all obtained by myself. It's just nuts when you really go and dive deep into it. I've almost made 100,000 gold bars as well for smithing. And just like the amount of raw food you get, and you have to cook it to, you know, go ahead and do bosses. It's actually pretty cool when you really think about it. And all the raw food I have left over and stuff like that. Farming is another huge thing on an Ironman as well. Getting all your seeds and actually planting the crops. I fell in love with farming playing the Ironman game mode, and especially herb lore. Herb lore is a very, very challenging one that a lot of players get frustrated with on an Ironman account, because you have to go ahead and get the herb, make it into the potion, collect the secondary ingredient, and finally finish the final product, right? It's such a cool feeling, and all of the random drops you get, you can elk and turn into raw cash. Clue scrolls feel so much better doing them as an Ironman, because you never know what you could get, and it could change everything about your game. And just like all the cool monster drops are just really cool to go ahead and stack up in the bank. And they just mean so much more on an Ironman than they would as a regular account. It's actually pretty crazy to go ahead and look at my bank and be like, I got all this stuff without trading another player. It's really crazy when you actually think about it. Yeah, so all in all, the reason why I like to play Ironman mode is just because it's a lot more fun, a lot more challenging, and it's really cool to go ahead and look back at the progress and see that you did it all yourself. You know, you didn't have help from anyone. That's why I'm called No Help. But yeah, you didn't have help from anyone, obviously, right? You did it all yourself. And it's going to be really cool to actually finally max this account and say that I did it all myself. And yeah, it's just been a crazy journey, and that's why I play Ironman game mode. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video today. If you went ahead and watched the whole video, comment almost maxed. Thank you guys, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya later.